The movies we're going to talk about today, I did want to bring up from our last episode about Mikey and Nikki. That movie really kind of put me on a Peter Falk kind of thing. And one of the movies that's actually one of the, if not, I think maybe his biggest hit he ever had as a movie, but I hadn't seen it since it came out. And I just watched it just the other day, was The In-Laws. When was the last time you saw The In-Laws?
Okay, last time I saw The In-Laws was literally in video archives.
Oh, really?
And it was at the time.
Did you see it at the theaters when it came out?
Yes, I saw it at the theaters. Like I think everybody did.
Yeah,
it was a big hit, right?
It was like a smash
hit,
a surprise smash,
and a fun movie. And Peter Falk is weirdly I've gotten to know a couple of CIA spooks over the course of my life. That's exactly what they're like.
That was, especially having just only a vague memory of the movie from seeing it when it came out. And I remember when it came out, I liked it, but I remember being surprised that it was such a hit because I thought, like, I didn't think it was that good. All right. But that was actually one of the neat things about it, was to kind of watch it again after all this time, and especially to just focus in on Peter Falk. He's fucking hysterical in that movie.
Let me give you a little backstory behind this chat. Sometimes the episodes that we record don't end up in the order that you guys hear them. Originally, this week's main episode was recorded right after episode 6, which featured Coma, Mikey and Nikki, and Piranha. So, when we were waiting for our guest Jacqueline to arrive, we couldn't help but talk about The In-Laws. Now, Quentin never read the back of the box, but don't worry, I've got this one covered. The box is a Warner Home Video box. I picked up mine off of eBay for $1.99. It would go in the comedy section, and let me tell you, this box definitely stands out on the shelf. It's bright yellow, and you can see it from a mile away. The poster or the art on the box is really funny because it features the chicken, which is probably my favorite sequence in the movie, and also shows that Alan Arkin's character is a dentist where he's putting the teeth on the gun, and I really like that because he just wants Peter Falk to stop talking. Anyway, let me read the back of the box. A CIA agent yanks a dentist into the wildest comedy in years. He's a dentist. His daughter is about to be married. The man she's marrying has a father who may or may not be a CIA agent. So far, so good, until the shooting starts. Alan Arkin plays Sheldon Cornpet, the mild-mannered dentist who gets in over his head. Peter Falk plays Vince Ricardo, who's been in over his head so long he may have lost it completely. They're as different as night and day. That's what makes The In-Laws so hilarious. What was so special about them, says director Arthur Hiller, Love Story, The Hospital, Silver Streak, Teachers, was the way they related to and drew from each other. Their admiration is mutual, Arkin on Falk. He's the kind of actor who brings so much energy and imagination to a scene that everyone in it looks good. Falk on Arkin. He's a rare combination, a profound actor and a terrific comedian. What brought them together was an original and inspired script by Andrew Bergman, whose classy comedy credits include Blazing Saddles, So Fine, and Fletch. In rubbing Arkin's nebbishy conservatism up against Falk's anarchic zaniness, Hiller and Bergman have fashioned one of the funniest screen pairings of all time. And The In-Laws isn't a funny film, it's a scream. Now that you guys know what The In-Laws is about, let's get back into the conversation with a discussion on Alan Arkin's role in the film and Peter Falk's career.
Alan Arkin is almost the same case as you can make with Mikey and Nikki, that maybe Peter Falk has the harder job because he has to kind of be the straight man to John Cassavetes. And that's kind of the situation where Alan Arkin actually gives one of the greatest straight man performances I've ever seen in a movie ever, because he's the straight man that gets just as many laughs as the comedy guy. And it's his story. It's what happens to him over that weekend is what it's about.
Alan Arkin has that, it's almost undeniable, his dry humor, his ability to receive news with dryness, and for you to absorb how dry he's receiving the comedy. It becomes funny in itself.
It's a comedy, and it's about the laughs, and they're both very funny actors, but it's about the acting. They are playing two characters. This is an acted movie in a way that, like, other comedies with, like, funny actors who act funny aren't. There's more about comic persona. They're giving fantastic performances while getting all the jokes, while setting each other up, for their successes. Now, the thing is, there is one Peter Falk movie that was very, very seminal in the 70s in his time that I haven't seen that I would like to see. And that's right here. And that's this massive, successful TV movie he did called Griffin and Phoenix.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it.
It's from the early 70s. It was a massive success. I mean, it just shows you that CBS Fox Home Video put it out on it's a big thing.
Yeah, I see that it's a CBS Fox box.
Yeah, they don't come out with TV movies. I missed it. I never saw it, but I remember it getting a lot of attention when it came out. And I think it's a tearjerker love story where these two people find each other. And I think at first they don't know, but he's going to die from some sort of disease and she's going to die from some sort of disease. And so they find each other and it's their love affair. I think one of the reasons the movie was such a hit is I don't think people realized the extent of how Peter Falk had become a superstar because of Columbo.
More than a superstar, beloved and welcomed into people's homes weekly, at night.
They knew Columbo was a star, but they didn't know that it 100% had translated to Peter Falk himself.
Yeah.
And I think this was like the first thing he had done since he had scored as Columbo that he was he's the star of. Yeah. And Jill Clayburgh was actually known more as a TV movie actress at this time because she had just played this fantastic role in this movie about prostitution called Hustling with Lee Remick. And she played this New York prostitute. And she never played another character like that again. She co-stars with him. And then after Griffin and Phoenix, she was a movie star. From that point on, she started doing movies all the time because of the success of Griffin and Phoenix. And that's when people realized, holy shit, Peter Falk he's a superstar. And even the idea of Peter Falk starring in a love story with Jill Clayburgh sounds like a really cool thing.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. We're going to watch it?
I'd love to. Now, the other thing to watch, and I saw this at the theaters. Everyone just assumed Peter Falk and Alan Arkin would do some more movies together. But they didn't until in the 80s, they did this weird little comedy that John Cassavetes directed called Big Trouble.
Right. Big Trouble.
Yeah. It's Peter Falk and Alan Arkin and Beverly D'Angelo.
Yeah. That was always a kind of bizarre addition.
Yeah. It was a weird situation because, it's an anomaly inside of John Cassavetes' career. Because except for the Judy Garland movie he made, it's the only movie he did where he's trying to make a comedy. He's trying to make a movie that's supposed to play at the fucking multiplexes. It
looks like a work for hire thing that he's come in and I'm going to be a journeyman in this one.
Exactly. But he's got a chance at a hit. I mean, it's the first time Arkin and Falk have got together in a long time. I remember the script being completely scattered. However, here was the deal about it though. Columbia thought it was a disaster. But contractually, they had to release it. So they literally, and they did this so rarely, it was literally released day and date.
Yeah.
It was to play at the theater for 1 week just for contractual obligation.
Yep.
And but that same week, it came out on home video.
Yeah.
They think this is a disaster. They're throwing it out. And lo and behold, Big Trouble gets really good reviews. It got good reviews in the LA Times. It got good reviews in the Herald Examiner. And they go, what the fuck? Yeah. Now, I saw it and I thought it was funny. The only thing I remember about it, Alan Arkin in the movie does one of, and I know this sounds like hyperbole, but it's not. He does one of the greatest comic spit takes I've ever seen in any movie. It's the spit take of all time. It was as if Cassavetes challenged him. Can you do the greatest spit take in the history of motion pictures?
He brought it.
And he put that on his shoulders and he committed to it. And it's hysterical. In it, Peter Falk gives him a little tiny glass of cordial. And he drinks it back. And he does the greatest spit take in the history of cinema. And he goes, what was that? And Peter Falk goes, sardine liqueur.
Sardine liqueur.
As you all know, when we record an episode, I only have 48 hours tops to source, watch, and research all of the movies that we may discuss. When it came to The In-Laws, Quentin had recommended it to me the week prior, And thankfully, I watched it in my spare time and was able to join in on the conversation.
I like it for all the reasons you do. I think it has a great opening. The title sequence is lovely. I love the heist at the beginning.
I do. I like the title sequence too. Actually, one of the things I don't like about the movie is all the bouncy comedy music that never lets you take the movie seriously, because it's always
Pink Panther.
Now, the one time I do like it is in the opening credits.
In the opening credits, yeah. I mean, I think it's great. And also, like, there's that scene like where Alan Arkin is telling his patient, like, oh, like my child's getting married. And the man's like, look, don't do it. I love that moment. It's so funny. He's like, don't do it. The child is the acorn. You got to look at the tree.
Yeah.
It is such a great line. I'm going to use that from now on when I'm referring to people. And I think it teeters the line of like, is he or isn't he like an agent really, really well?
Oh, no. One of the things actually, look, along with Peter Falk and Alan Arkin, the thing that I really responded to it so much was Alan Bergman's script. Because Alan Bergman he later became a really good writer, director, and this feels like an Alan Bergman movie. Later he'll do So Fine.
Yeah.
Which practically almost seems like the In-Laws Part 2, not story-wise, but just it's, that deserves the title, From the Man That Brought You the In-Laws.
Yeah, for sure.
But one of the things that works so good about it is the script, because the whole thing about the engraved plates and everything, you actually care. You're actually following you want to know what's going on, and they treat the story with respect. You learn more and more and more, and the whole is he or isn't he like works kind of fantastic. At a certain point, you have to assume he's a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially when he goes to the general's house and the general has his hand. When you go to the guy's talking hand, you assume that they both might just be insane. Yeah. Like both of them, the general and Peter Falk's character. Now, give a kiss to Senor Pepe.
Oh, he's shy.
He's shy. Oh, he's shy. You want a little kissy. And I love that he gets him to kiss him.
Yeah.
One performance in it that I love, that I just have to give a shout out to, is Ed Begley Jr. I love Ed Begley Jr. Anytime I see Ed Begley Jr., I'm so excited. I love him. So just seeing young Ed Begley Jr. unexpectedly, I was like, yay.
Yeah.
And I ended up actually picking up a VHS of it for $1.99.
I looked at my video, and it was also, it wasn't an archive. It was my own collection, and it was $1.99, and it says I bought it at Amoeba.
Wow.
In the videotape section of Amoeba.
Is it a Warner Brothers copy?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, mine is too. So,
well, rest in peace, Arthur Hiller.
Yes.
Go into the sunset lightly.